And we'll actually start not by talking about him, but talking about Clara Immerwahr. Because we should talk about one good person in this, even if it ends in horrible tragedy. Spoiler alert, it does not end well for Clara. Have you heard of Clara?
Yes, I have.
What do you know about Clara?
Clara was the first woman in German history to earn a doctorate in a STEM field.
Yes.
The very first. So when she was coming up through school, she had private tutors that taught her the basics. But that was not, you couldn't really get a degree, or at least not the kind of degree that would get you into college, into university. So she went to this local technical school and discovered that you could listen in on the courses if you got the permission of the professor. So she goes around to all of these different professors and convinces them to let a girl sit in on their courses, even though she's not allowed to actually participate or take tests or get credit.
Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid that a girl be allowed to do these things. She goes, sits in, learns the material, and tests out. She goes, takes the examinations, and then manages to get into university based on just her own stick-to-itiveness and determination and intelligence. This is an incredible woman who then goes to college, gets her degree, is presented with her diploma, and has to then sit through a speech about how true intellectuals will accept everyone, but let's all hope that this doesn't become a thing. Heaven forbid that we see a new era where women abandon the home to pursue professional pursuits. It would be the end of our society. So, congratulations, Clara. But let's hope this isn't catching.
So, Clara is an inspiring individual, and people are worried about this trend of women scientists taking off from Clara. Well, they needn't have worried, because she married Fritz Haber.
Haber, so you probably won't remember this, but Haber was in one of those boxes in your chemistry textbook in high school or college, one of those little info boxes that has the flavor text of, we owe half of life on Earth to Mr. Haber, and here he is, and here's his picture, and this is what he did, and it was magic, and he won the Nobel Prize, and he now resides in hell.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Haber is brilliant. He is a man of extremes. Okay? His legacy is extreme. His brilliance was extreme. His evilness was extreme. Everything about the man is just off the charts. If I wrote this into a book, people wouldn't believe it because it wouldn't be realistic.
Yeah.
So let's destroy Clara so that everyone can hate Haber as much as we do. So she is absolutely brilliant, a history maker, and she marries...
A brilliant chemist herself.
Yes, brilliant chemist. Up to the point that she marries Fritz Haber.
Now, up to this point, Haber had not really made a name for himself because he was actually kind of a mediocre student. He wasn't great. As a chemist, he was really good at coordinating with the team, but he was very easily frustrated, and so would get fed up on projects and just kind of abandon them. He was a little bit wishy-washy in a lot of ways.
I will actually disagree just a little bit.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because what it was not truly wishy-washiness. He just hadn't settled yet. He bounced around a few different fields. What is less known about his legacy is how much he contributed in those fields that he wasn't even taking seriously. He was also the one who invented the glass electrode. Was not really interested in that field. That was his dabbling in electromagnetism. Invented the glass electrode, which later led to the development of accurate pH meters. That was Haber again.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't necessarily that he was, wishy-washy or whatever. He just hadn't found his niche. But as he pinballed around, as he hit into these other fields, he also was brilliant in them, but he hadn't really focused in. Anyway.
Wow. That's very good insight. Thank you. So he really hits his stride when he starts being able to work with a team. And that's where he starts picking up momentum, gaining more fame, gaining more prestige, starts gaining rivals. And Clara works with him at first. She is herself a brilliant chemist, but she quickly becomes very frustrated with the way that she's treated. Because before, when she was this self-made woman, she had a certain amount of respect, right? She had a certain amount of, even if people were concerned about this whole woman scientist thing, people at least understood that when she said something, she was saying her opinion and not her husband's. That changes when she marries Haber, especially because Haber is a misogynistic monster. So when
Dominating misogynistic monster. For those just joining us, we are talking about Fritz Haber, one of the worst people ever.
Just awful human being. So she is this brilliant chemist, but anytime that she says something, people assume that she's just parroting what her husband said. And Haber does nothing to disillusion these people. He also kind of likes, you get the impression that he kind of got off on people thinking that everything that this brilliant woman said was actually coming from him. So Clara quickly becomes disillusioned with the entire scientific community, and she begins to drift into obscurity and just look after Haber's house. But that actually doesn't go that well for her because she's gotten used to being a free, independent woman, and she doesn't want to sit at home with the kids, and she doesn't want to go to social functions and knitting circles. She wants to be involved, and so her life gets progressively worse and worse, even as Fritz's life keeps getting better and better.